What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and we are now only 10 days away from the NFL draft of 2025, where most Jet fans expect us to add 3, if not 4 or more starters for the green and white under the new head coach, Aaron Glenn, and the new general manager, Darren Moji. This is a big draft, obviously, and we have been talking about all the news and notes, the potential trades, the potential positions of need as a focus here on Jets Latest over the last week or two. But here's the deal. We actually have to read the tea leaves looking at some other teams as well. It came out over the weekend that Derek Carr, the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, is dealing with a shoulder injury that might require surgery and could put his 2025 season in doubt. Here's how this could potentially impact the Jets, all right? The New Orleans Saints were already the plus 270 favorites at number 9 overall to draft Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, right? Those odds, ever since the Carr injury news came out, have gone all the way down to plus 105. It's now even money. Most people are connecting the New Orleans Saints to Shedeur Sanders. Now remember, Shedeur Sanders is one of the guys we had always hoped would go off the draft board before the Jets draft at number 7, meaning that the offensive tackles, Membu, Campbell, potentially Tyler Warren, would all still be on the board so the Jets can kind of have their pick. Now, there is talk that because of the Carr injury, the Saints have more pressure to potentially land Shedeur Sanders, and they may be interested in trading up in the draft. I think this helps the Jets for a number of reasons. One, if they trade up above where the Jets are, it is likely to go ahead and get the quarterback, likely to get Shedeur Sanders, which means it's more likely that we have our draft targets on the board. However, there's another interesting kind of way it could be played here. There is some buzz that the Saints may be interested to trade up to number 7 with the New York Jets. And this is interesting for a number of reasons, right? One, if we still believe that the draft board is going to fall in a way where Will Campbell, Armand Membu, maybe Tyler Warren are available, and it is only trading 2 spots down, maybe that is something the Jets are interested in. Here's the other part. About a month ago, when the Justin Fields thing came out, that we were signing Justin Fields, and we talked about all the Ohio State Buckeyes with Garrett Wilson, Jeremy Ruckert, and they signed Josh Myers at center, there was buzz out there that the Jets should go out and trade for Chris Olave, who was, in fact, Justin Fields' other prime target in Ohio State, who is now a wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints also have Rashid Shaheed. They signed Brandon Cooks. So they now have a surplus, and there's been talk that the Saints would be willing to dangle Olave in a trade. So it makes me wonder, could the Jets actually trade down just 2 spots to number 9 if they thought they could still get their guy, Armand Membu, and somehow still give like a late round pick, a mid round pick next year, and somehow get Chris Olave back? That would be intriguing to me. Olave would be obviously an upgrade, and it would continue the Ohio State kind of reunion with the green and white. So keep an eye out on that. Bottom line, only think the Jets would be interested in this if they were really confident that they can still get one of their offensive lineman targets, even if they move down to number 9, right? I also think the Saints are probably going to stand pat and roll the dice thinking they can still get Shedeur Sanders at 9. But if not, even if they just trade up to another place above us and the Jets are not in it at all, that helps the Jets. Because remember, we want the tackles to still be on the board at number 7 overall. So I do think this is interesting. Whether we're a trade partner for the Saints or not, there's a small chance we could swing Olave out of it. But even if just the Saints trade up above us, that helps our draft targets still be on the board. Speaking of draft targets, I talked to you about the Oregon Pro Day and how Terrence Ferguson, the tight end of the Oregon Ducks, was maybe someone the Jets could be looking at in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round if they didn't go Tyler Warren. I've been telling you, I think they go offensive lineman, and I think this is a deep tight end class, and Terrence Ferguson is certainly someone we have talked about on Jets Latest. However, the Jets had a meeting with another top member of the Oregon Ducks draft prospect, Derek Harmon. This is a defensive lineman who is a stud. He was a second team All-American. And honestly, with last week, the Jets bringing back Alan Lazard on a reduced number, one of the things I talked about is how it kind of downgrades the need for wide receiver in the draft. And the biggest position that could now be right up there, along with tight end and offensive tackle, is the defensive line. So it does intrigue me that now all of a sudden they're bringing in Derek Harmon, who is an absolute stud. Like I said, second team All-American, 6'4", 313 pounds. Could they be targeting him? Now, a lot of mocks have him going at the end of the first round, but remember, the Jets have number 42 overall. I have been saying that's where they go get the tight end Mason Taylor, in my opinion. However, if Derek Harmon is available there at number 42, I think he is the kind of steal that would have fallen to them that they should absolutely go ahead and go and get. He had 45 tackles last year, 10 and a half tackles for loss, 5 sacks, pass breakups, forced fumbles. He is a nightmare in the middle of that line. He's also versatile on the line. He can play kind of nose. He can play at the 4 technique. He can play out wide. He's also been known as tough to move and kind of a run stopper, which is the kind of defensive lineman we are looking to add opposite Quinnen Williams in that interior defensive line. So I think that is interesting. Derek Harmon of the Oregon Ducks is someone to keep an eye on, whether if he slides a little bit and is available at number 42 overall, or if the Jets see it so fit that they may want to trade back up into the first round to go and get this kind of guy. And remember, this is also, for me, connected to the Alan Lazard signing, right? Because now that their wide receiver room could be viewed as complete with 5-6 guys already on the roster, defensive line does become that next position of priority. I still say right tackle, hopefully Membu at 7, but then in rounds 2 and 3, I think it's tight end and defensive linemen. So the fact that they're doing their due diligence on a second team All-American makes me think that Ferguson may not be the only Oregon Duck on the radar for the New York Jets. But one of the things that we continue to really focus in on here is number 7 overall, right? What will the Jets do with that first round pick? I have been saying all offseason long that I think the Jets are going offensive line with the number 7 pick. I do not think it is tight end, although that is what out there. And the mocks are continued to be split on 2 specific players. One is the tight end out of Penn State, Tyler Warren. We've told you about him getting Heisman Trophy votes as a tight end. We told you about the mismatch. We told you about his yak. We told you about his measurables. I don't think they're going to do it. That's why I talk about Ferguson, Taylor, and the rest. And the other is Armand Membu. We've been talking about how he only allowed 3 sacks in 3 years, his PFF grade of 90, how he's a combine machine, right? So I actually think that those are the guys, and all of the mocks seem to agree. I mean, Albert Breer just did a recent mock. Tyler Warren, number 7 overall. Jeff Ratcliffe over at FTN Fantasy, where I also host the FTN Fantasy show. Where does he go? Tyler Warren, number 7 overall, okay? Although, my guy Jeff Ratcliffe admitted and acknowledged that the odds-on favorite right now is offensive line, minus 105, and that tight end is the second choice in the sportsbook at around 3-1. It is the second choice, but that's all that Tyler Warren buzz. And remember, Mel Kiper, Field Yates have both said Armand Membu is the guy for the Jets at number 7 overall. The new question really is, can the Jets kind of play chicken almost, go ahead and drop down a couple picks, maybe get other assets, whether it's draft picks or a guy like Chris Olave, and still get Armand Membu or potentially Tyler Warren if that is their target? I think that is really the new question with the Derek Carr injury. And I don't think they're going to force that, quite frankly, but I do think, at this point of the season, phone calls are being made, the bat phone is open, and the phone lines continue to be open for the next 10 days going up to the NFL draft. And quite frankly, the phone lines may be open when the Jets are on the clock at number 7 overall. So keep an eye out for that, and always keep it locked right here to Jets Latest, all right? You need to like this video, watch this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend, because we're sifting through the nonsense and giving what you need to know here on the green and white for the Jets, Jets. And remember, if you want to engage with me at Spittin' Speeds on Twitter, not only here Jets Latest, but I'm the host of the FTN Fantasy Show over on SiriusXM Channel 87 every afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and we talk fantasy football, the entire NFL, baseball, the NBA, golf, it doesn't matter. We are here to help you win your leagues and win that cash. But remember, if you want the latest on the green and white, come right back here. I will be here tomorrow getting you ready for the NFL draft. It is an exciting time, so make sure you subscribe and get everything you need to know before the Jets make this huge draft in only 10 days. That'll do it for this episode. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.